Welcome, Dr. Dominic Mcloughlin. It's so wonderful to have you here. Thank you very much for joining me and for doing this interview with me today. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. It's fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you. So, boy, there is value in becoming visible on the internet. And I met you just a few months ago in Facebook. We are both in an entrepreneurial development program, and we were challenged by our business coach to become visible and to record videos of ourselves every day during that coaching challenge. And
Yes.
that is how we meet.
Yes, thank you. It was wonderful to discover that we had things in common through that group. The fact that you've taught at a university, I've been teaching at universities, you have a PhD, I have a PhD, and we're both really interested in entrepreneurship. So it was so wonderful to actually meet a colleague who became such a fantastic support as well. So thank you.
Oh, likewise, completely. And another interesting thing that we found out, we've got another thing in common. We both studied trust as
Yes,
part of our doctoral dissertation research. So
yes,
I studied trust in the context of international police and judicial cooperation aimed at combating serious transnational organized crime in the cross-border region of Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany, because my PhD is in criminology. And you did trust on a very similar topic. I think you studied organizational behavior, which is one of the topics that I studied for my dissertation. But
yes.
can you please tell us a little bit more about your study of trust in the context
Sure.
of organizational behavior?
Yeah, no, thank you. So I was really interested in the idea that workplaces require trust to function really well, and that you could trust your manager but not your organization, or you could trust your organization but not your manager. And I was also interested in the fact that in my experience in the workplace, I've seen managers who could deal with change really well and others who just couldn't deal with it at all. And it seemed to me that it came down to how much their people trusted them, that they're going to be looked after and that they're going to be able to get through. I was really interested in how the character of the manager and their behavior builds trust, and then how that trust develops really good outcomes for organizations.
I've also found that trust is a very important variable when it comes to cooperation. It's fabulous that you studied trust as well. And
Yeah.
I think that you have something of great value to my audience, both my students at the university level, because I have a coaching program that teaches university students how to succeed in university, and also my audience in terms of the criminal justice realm. So police officers, prosecutors, and judges, nationally and internationally. We're all interested in learning about trust and how to become better leaders. And here I understand that you are preparing for a book launch in mid-October
Yes.
for a book that you are going to have published. And I'm wondering if you can please tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, no, I think it's so interesting that you're interested in trust as well. Like, I think there's, in a way, maybe that's partly why we've been able to work together, because we trust each other and because we both value that. That's why it works. Whereas some people don't value trust and it doesn't work so well. I've had these sort of three different hats that I wear at any one time. I have my consulting business hat, my teaching at university hat, and my research hat. So I am a little bit strange because I'm not an academic in the traditional sense. And I know that you've had that same experience too.
Just like you.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more in common than one would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I was finding in trying to help businesses is I'd be asked to do some training for new managers or for teams that weren't working very well. And often that would come down to a lack of trust. So I was thinking, how could I write a book which is just really for people who are just starting out and is not academic? It's just like the main principles, and just give them some ideas about how to practically do this. Because what often happens, and what I've seen in my own business in helping other organizations, if you're an accountant, you get promoted to manage a team of accountants, but you get no real help to manage people. Like, it's not something that they educate you on. And the same with many people, even in part-time jobs, and university students have this, where suddenly they're a supervisor of a small team, but no one's actually given them any training about how they're supposed to deal with people. So I can be an expert in my subject matter and not know how to deal with people who are working in the same area. So that's the thing I was really trying to address with the book. So thank you for mentioning that. It's called Be a Better Manager in 5 Minutes a Day. So that's what I'm looking to
That
publish soon.
sounds wonderful. And I understand that you also have a mini online course that goes with the book.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, on my website, I have something that is either for people who have got the book and want to see a little bit more, or for people who haven't seen the book and just want to see what is this all about. So it's a few principles that people can consider. It's just about, how do I find more time? How do I develop a manager's mindset? How do I build my people skills? It's just a few questions like that, and just trying to give some little starters that you can just start doing in 5 minutes a day. Just start to practice some of these things, so that as you grow as a manager in your experience, you can also grow as a person and be more confident in what you're doing.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. I'm wondering, how did you come to do all of this?
It was a roundabout journey, really, because I started off in management. I did a Bachelor of Commerce, and then I went to work for a union, and I found out how not to manage because of all the problems that I had to deal with. I saw all these examples of like terrible management. And then I moved out of that because I was sick of trying to fix things that were already broken. I wanted to get in front of those things by being a consultant to business and HR manager, or working for an employer association, and try and prevent those things happening. And that also aligned a little bit with my teaching just after work, into the whole area of how people work together, people management. And so then I thought, being an HR manager, I'll get in front of this. And then I found, well, actually, it's just, you do as an HR manager get to stop some of those problems happening. But I thought it actually goes further. It's actually like people are just not being taught how to manage people effectively. So that's really where it comes from. So between looking at my former students as they move through their careers, and then my experience myself in the workplace as an HR manager, and then with the kind of problems that came up, I was thinking there's a need for it. So that's where it comes from.
You are a university instructor in the School of Business.
Yeah, so I'm a lecturer in the School of Business.
Excellent.
And I think of myself as a people management specialist. That's how I think of myself.
Oh,
So sometimes it's in the university sphere, sometimes it's in the consulting sphere, sometimes it's in the conversation sphere.
and why are you so passionate about this subject? Because I can really see you light up when you talk about it.
I think it's because I think this can make a real difference to people. I've seen so many people who are just overwhelmed with all the things they've got to do. They feel like they're under pressure. They end up, often it's partly like people end up being treated poorly in the workplace because their manager is being treated poorly in the workplace. They don't know what they're supposed to do. They're just trying to do everything themselves. Or because they don't know, they feel they can't make mistakes. They have a kind of perfectionism. And of course, no one is perfect. And so then they make mistakes and then they try to cover them up. And so it's like a cycle that's so predictable. And it's like, how much better could our workplaces be if people had a bit more of a sense of, like, it's okay to make a mistake. I just acknowledge I've made a mistake. I fix it up. I learn from it. I allow my people to make mistakes. I allow them to fix it up, and we move on. Now, that's a much better workplace to be in than one that everyone's stressed and worried that they're going to be caught doing something wrong. So I just think there's so much potential for workplaces to be so much better. So that's really where it comes from.
I'm very thankful because I had the opportunity to read your book. It was very short and easy. It was only 5 hours, and I learned so much. I think that what you're teaching should really be more widespread. So I'm really excited about your upcoming book launch, and that this knowledge will be more easily accessible to people. So thank you very much for your excellent work in putting this book together.
Oh, and thank you, Dr. Finney, because it's been fantastic to have your feedback on it too. And yeah, it's so great that you took the time to do it when you're so busy. So thank you.
Oh, with pleasure, anytime. I'm wondering, can you tell us 3 keys to how to become a better manager?
They're under 3 broad headings that I use in the book. The first one is really mindset. And that's what I was talking about earlier. My mindset is I'm prepared to learn from mistakes and I want other people to grow. So that's my mindset. It's not about me, and it's not about me being perfect. So then the motivation also is important, because a lot of the problems in organizations can be traced back to people just wanting to get their own career done and dusted. So it's all about them and all the people affected by their desire to get ahead, collateral damage in that person's career path. So that sort of motivation of, yes, of course, I want to get ahead, but I can get ahead bringing other people with me, or through me helping other people to get ahead, I can get ahead. So it's just a change in the kind of what's my motivation. So mindset, motivation, and then also the behavior that we as managers engage in is really important, because people make assessments about us and our character by the way we act in the workplace. And so I've got some ideas there about how you can think about the way you communicate, how you can think about how people might perceive the sorts of things you do, making yourself available, and some simple sort of tricks and tips just to try and get started on that road. It's partly about putting one foot in front of the other. So yeah, those are the 3 key things that I wanted to touch on.
Okay, that's excellent, Dr. Mcloughlin. Thank you. Why do you think your clients are successful?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've worked with many different clients, and perhaps if I could give one example of where I think we really managed to help. It was actually a not-for-profit organization that we're trying to engage in a charitable kind of work. They were actually really helpful for the people they were helping, but they had a difficulty in applying those same values and that same standard to their staff. It seemed that we're so busy helping these people, we haven't got time to help our staff. So once we were able to go through a bit of a procedure, which was really about just calling that to people's attention, getting them to agree on how they wanted to behave with each other moving forward, to just sort of really make that conscious and articulate it. Then they were able to go, oh, wow, that's why we haven't been able to work together. We don't trust each other. And there's just sort of real revelations coming through. And then people go, well, of course, that's ridiculous. So why don't we start on a new foot? Here's our sort of rules for interacting with each other, and let's go from there. And to see people like have a great workplace where they trust their colleagues, they're helping each other, compared to where they were, where there was a lot of bullying and aggravation and people were scared. It's just so rewarding. So I get a lot of pleasure out of seeing that change, but I think they get a lot of benefit because the dysfunction in the organization dissolves and they can actually get stuff done instead of worrying about each other and playing politics.
That sounds fabulous. The world would be a better place if it went in that direction. So this is very valuable work. So
Thank you.
I understand that you have a website, and that's the best way for people to get a hold of you. And how is
www.dominicmcloughlin.com.
Okay, excellent. And that's exactly where people can find your free online course. It's just a mini introduction to what you have to offer. And it is on the subject of how to be a better manager in 5 minutes a day.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just a little starter. So there's just a few little modules to get you started in 5 minutes. So yeah, that's a free course. You can just sign up to that by going to that website and click on the join the free course.
Perfect. And if people sign up for the free course, will they also be added to your email list that they can be made aware of that upcoming book launch?
Yes, absolutely. So anyone that joins the course, they'll also be able to join my email list, and then I'll let them know as soon as the book's available.
It's been amazing to connect with you. It is so wonderful to hear about your upcoming book launch, and it's such a pleasure to introduce you to my audience. And I wish you every success with your book launch and your online course and everything else that you're going to be rolling out here in the future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fennig. It's been fantastic to talk to you, and you've just been such a supportive colleague in this process. So I just really want to thank you for that as well.
You're most welcome anytime.